Section 1, the power of words. Section 2, beyond transactions, building bonds of giving. Section 3, speaking the language of family. Section 1, the power of words. Words can inspire, heal, and build bridges. In fundraising, words are the foundation of successful campaigns. The right words can turn a lukewarm response into generosity. Using family words taps into a universal language of love and belonging. Section 2, beyond transactions, building bonds of giving. True fundraising goes beyond transactions. It's about building relationships. Donors should be seen as valued partners in our mission. Using family words creates an atmosphere of trust and belonging. Section 3, speaking the language of family. Move away from impersonal jargon and use words that evoke warmth and connection. Create a sense of community where donors feel part of something meaningful. Fundraising is about opening hearts, not closing deals. In the world of fundraising, success hinges on connection. Emotional connections motivate donors to give. Family words evoke feelings of warmth and shared purpose. Charitable organizations can foster these feelings in their donors. Building genuine relationships is key. Consider the dynamics of a healthy family. Open communication and mutual respect are key. Treat donors like cherished family members. Use family words to create a sense of kinship. There's a scientific basis for using family words in fundraising. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, fosters feelings of connection. Charitable giving triggers the release of oxytocin. Family words evoke love, belonging, and connection. Fundraising is both an art and a science. Oxytocin plays a role in shaping charitable impulses. Activities promoting social connection release oxytocin. Charitable giving activates neural pathways associated with love and bonding. Social bonding and charitable giving are evolutionarily linked. Humans are hardwired for connection and cooperation. Giving to charity strengthens social bonds. Family words tap into our need for connection and belonging. Personal connections have always been key in fundraising. Traditional methods tap into the power of touch. Family words create intimacy and shared humanity. They build trust and pave the way for meaningful donor relationships. The oxytocin advantage, why traditional techniques work. Traditional techniques promote trust and connection. Physical touch releases oxytocin, fostering generosity. Sharing a meal creates an atmosphere of warmth and shared purpose. Beyond the boardroom, bringing family values to fundraising. Move beyond impersonal business language. Apply family values like compassion and empathy to fundraising. Personalized appreciation transforms donor relationships into meaningful partnerships. The language of trust, building bridges with every word. In fundraising, as in life, words matter. The words we choose, the tone we strike can mean the difference between building trust and creating distance. When we use the language of family, we're speaking to the heart, not just the head. We're appealing to the values that unite us, the shared human experiences that transcend our differences. Consider the difference between these two fundraising appeals. Make a tax-deductible donation today and help us reach our year-end goal. Join our family of supporters and make a difference in the lives of those in need. The first appeal is transactional, focusing on the financial aspect of giving. The second appeal is relational, inviting donors to be part of something larger than themselves. It speaks to our innate desire to belong, to make a meaningful contribution, and to be part of a community that cares. When we use family words in our fundraising efforts, we're not just asking for money, we're inviting donors to join us on a journey of shared purpose. We're building bridges of trust and understanding, one word at a time. The Family Experiment, a glimpse into donor psychology. The impact of family words in fundraising is backed by compelling research. Researchers tested the power of word choices on donor behavior. They created two versions of a fundraising appeal. One used traditional language, the other used family-oriented language. The family words version generated a higher response rate. Family words activate feelings of warmth, belonging, and trust. When less is more, simplifying the language of giving. In fundraising, clarity is paramount. Overly complex language creates confusion and distrust. Not everyone understands philanthropy jargon. Use clear, concise language like you would with family. Focus on why support matters and the joy of giving. Start with human connection and shared values. Unlocking generosity, the power of everyday language. One of the most common mistakes fundraisers make is assuming that they need to use formal, sophisticated language to convey credibility and professionalism. While it's important to maintain a professional tone, striving for overly formal language can actually have the opposite effect, making your organization seem distant, impersonal, and even out of touch. Remember, you're not writing a legal document or a scholarly article. You're communicating with real people who want to connect with your cause on an emotional level. And what's the language of emotion, the language of everyday life, the language we use with our friends, families, and communities? Think about the words that come naturally to you when expressing gratitude, sharing a story that moved you, or asking a loved one for help. These are the words that resonate, the words that build bridges, the words that unlock generosity. Don't be afraid to use contractions, to inject a bit of humor where appropriate, or to let your organization's personality shine through. Remember, people give to people, and the more human you can make your organization seem, the more likely you are to connect with donors on a deeper level. Building bridges, not barriers, why jargon hurts. Technical jargon can act as a barrier, especially in fundraising. Bombarding donors with complex language risks alienating them. The same principle applies to fundraising. Jargon creates a communication gap, hindering connection. The goal is to invite donors to join us on a journey of shared purpose. Clear, open communication is the foundation of any successful partnership. Section 1. Cultivating relationships, not just transactions. The heart of sustainable fundraising. In the ever-evolving landscape of fundraising, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of the next big gift, the impressive fundraising gala, or the viral online campaign. While these efforts certainly have their place, they should never overshadow the fundamental truth at the heart of successful fundraising. It's all about relationships. Think about the most cherished relationships in your own life, the ones that bring you joy, support, and a sense of belonging. These relationships weren't built overnight. They were cultivated over time through shared experiences, open communication, and a mutual investment in each other's well-being. The same principle applies to building lasting relationships with donors. It's not enough to simply solicit donations when the need arises. We need to approach donor relationships with the same care, intentionality, and long-term vision that we bring to our most valued personal connections. This means shifting our mindset from transactions to transformations. Instead of viewing donors as sources of revenue, we need to see them as partners in our mission, as individuals who share our passion for creating positive change in the world. And just like any strong relationship, this partnership needs to be nurtured and cultivated over time. The art of the follow-up, nurturing the seeds of generosity. In fundraising, the follow-up is everything. It's often the most overlooked aspect. Imagine receiving a thoughtful gift. You express your gratitude, but weeks go by without acknowledgement. You wonder if it was appreciated. Now imagine receiving a heartfelt thank you note. Your gift takes on new meaning. You feel valued and connected. A timely, personalized follow-up is essential. It nurtures generosity and builds lasting connections. Section 3. From thank you to welcome home, creating a culture of belonging. The language we use in our fundraising communications speaks volumes about our organizational culture. When we rely on transactional language, focusing solely on the mechanics of giving, the tax benefits, or the need to meet fundraising goals, we inadvertently create a sense of distance between our organization and our donors. We're essentially saying thank you for your money without acknowledging the heart behind the gift. Now imagine if we shifted our language to reflect a deeper understanding of the donor's journey. Instead of simply thanking donors for their contributions, what if we welcomed them into our community of supporters? What if we celebrated their generosity not just as a financial transaction, but as an act of love, compassion, and shared humanity? This shift in language might seem subtle, but it can have a profound impact on how donors perceive their relationship with your organization. When we use language that is warm, inviting, and inclusive, we create a culture of belonging, a space where donors feel valued, appreciated, and connected to something larger than themselves. This sense of belonging is further strengthened when we use storytelling to connect donors to the impact of their giving. Section 1. The transformative power of language. As we've explored throughout this chapter, the language we use in fundraising is not merely a matter of semantics, it's a powerful tool for building relationships, inspiring generosity, and creating lasting impact. When we choose our words carefully with intention and empathy, we tap into the very heart of what motivates people to give. We move beyond the transactional and into the realm of shared values, emotional connection, and a deep-seated desire to make a difference in the world. The power of family words lies in their ability to evoke a universal language of love, belonging, and shared purpose. These words transcend cultural differences, socio-economic barriers, and even generational divides. They speak to something deeply ingrained within us, a longing for connection, a desire to be part of something larger than ourselves, and a belief in the inherent goodness of humanity. When we use family words in our fundraising efforts, we're not just asking for money. We're extending an invitation to join a community of like-minded individuals who share a passion for making the world a better place. We're saying, you belong here, your voice matters. Your generosity has the power to change lives. Embracing the spirit of family. Beyond words, true connection goes beyond language. It's about embodying the spirit of family, open communication, mutual respect, and shared goals. Let's view our donors as partners in our mission. Section 3, a legacy of giving, inspiring generations to come. The decisions we make today as fundraisers and as human beings will have a ripple effect for generations to come. When we embrace the power of family words, when we cultivate relationships built on trust and respect, and when we lead with our hearts, we're not just raising funds. We're creating a legacy of giving. Imagine a world where philanthropy is no longer seen as an obligation, but as a joy, a privilege, and a fundamental expression of our shared humanity. Imagine a world where every child grows up understanding the importance of giving back, of using their time, talents, and resources to make a difference in the lives of others. This is the world we can create together, one word, one relationship, one act of generosity at a time. By embracing the power of family, we can transform not only our organizations, but also the world around us. Thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration.
Charitable giving often balances between emotional stories and financial efficiency. Understanding this balance is key to unlocking philanthropy's true potential. Storyworld connects us emotionally, inspiring action through powerful narratives. We step into others' shoes, feeling their struggles and hopes. Authentic storytelling moves us to help, transforming us from passive observers to active participants. This emotional connection drives our desire to make a difference. Commerce world values logic and efficiency, but this can clash with emotional giving. Overemphasis on low overhead can hinder charity's effectiveness. Balancing financial metrics with emotional impact is crucial for sustainable giving. Stories are powerful tools that evoke empathy and inspire generosity. They transform abstract issues into relatable human experiences. By connecting emotionally, donors feel their contributions make a real difference. Effective storytelling fosters empathy, connecting donors to those in need. Personal stories create a visceral connection, making issues feel immediate and real. Highlighting individual narratives over statistics makes a deeper impact. Stories engage our brains, enhancing memory and emotional connection. They trigger neural activity, making experiences feel real and memorable. Understanding this helps charities craft compelling narratives that resonate deeply. Emotional resonance is key in charitable giving, beyond just facts and figures. Effective storytelling balances information with powerful emotions. This approach inspires deeper, more frequent, and generous giving. Commerce world values efficiency, but this can clash with emotional giving. Balancing financial metrics with emotional impact is crucial for sustainable giving. Overhead aversion can hinder charities' effectiveness. Essential investments in infrastructure and personnel are crucial for impact. Transparency about true costs fosters trust and supports long-term sustainability. Shift the focus from minimizing costs to maximizing impact. Highlight how investments in overhead translate into real-world benefits. This approach encourages informed and impactful giving decisions. The tension between story world and commerce world plays out in real-world giving patterns. Donors often don't prioritize financial efficiency metrics as much as we might assume. Transparency and accountability are crucial, but the emotional pull of a compelling story often outweighs the logical appeal of efficiency ratios. In one study, a personal story generated more donations than a focus on low overhead costs. Donors are ultimately moved to action by narratives that connect with them emotionally. Perhaps even more surprising than the finding that donors don't prioritize efficiency is the evidence suggesting that highlighting efficiency can sometimes backfire, actually leading to a decrease in donations. This counterintuitive phenomenon underscores the complex psychology of giving and the importance of understanding the often unconscious biases that shape donor behavior. One study published in a leading academic journal examined the impact of providing potential donors with information about a charity's overhead ratio. The researchers found that, contrary to expectations, providing this information actually led to a decrease in both the likelihood of donating and the average amount donated. This finding suggests that when donors encounter information that frames a charity's operations primarily in terms of cost-cutting and efficiency, they may unconsciously perceive the organization as being less effective or less in need of support. In other words, the emphasis on low overhead can inadvertently signal that the charity is already doing well enough on its own and doesn't require as much assistance. This research highlights the importance of framing charitable appeals in a way that resonates with donors' emotional motivations. While transparency and accountability are crucial, they should be presented in a way that complements, rather than overshadows, the organization's mission and impact. The evidence is clear. When it comes to inspiring charitable giving, emotional resonance trumps financial efficiency metrics. This is not to say that efficiency is unimportant, or that charities should shy away from transparency about their finances. However, it does suggest that we need to rethink the way we communicate about overhead costs and the role of efficiency in achieving social good. Instead of leading with numbers and emphasizing low overhead ratios, charities should focus on telling compelling stories that connect with donors on an emotional level. These stories should showcase the human impact of the organization's work, highlighting the lives that have been changed and the difference that donations are making. When donors feel emotionally invested in a cause, they are more likely to give generously, more likely to become repeat donors, and more likely to become advocates for the organization. They are also more likely to understand and appreciate the importance of investing in overhead costs that support the organization's long-term sustainability and effectiveness. By shifting the narrative from cost containment to impact creation, Charities can unlock the true potential of philanthropy and inspire a new generation of donors who are passionate about making a difference in the world. Reframe overhead costs from a burden to a strategic investment in long-term impact. Communicate the value of these investments, showing their contribution to effectiveness and sustainability. Use positive language like investments in capacity or resources to maximize impact. This shift can change donor perceptions significantly. Provide examples of how overhead investments benefit communities. Explain how staff training or technology investments improve service quality and efficiency. Show the link between overhead investments and program impact to highlight their importance. Transparency and accountability are paramount in building trust with donors. However, transparency alone is not enough. Charities must also communicate how they create meaningful change. This is where storytelling comes into play. Stories bring their work to life, illustrating the human impact. These stories can be shared through various channels. Combining transparency with storytelling creates a powerful narrative that resonates with donors. Ultimately, the key to overcoming overhead aversion lies in shifting the donor-charity relationship from one of transactional giving to one of partnership and shared investment in social change. Donors want to know that their contributions are making a real difference, and they want to be a part of something larger than themselves. Charities can empower donors by providing them with opportunities to engage more deeply with their work. This might involve inviting donors to participate in site visits, volunteer opportunities, or advisory committees. It could also include providing regular updates on the progress of programs and the impact of donations. Furthermore, charities can create a culture of gratitude and recognition, acknowledging the crucial role that donors play in making their work possible. This could involve sending personalized thank you notes, highlighting donor stories in their communications, or hosting special events to celebrate their contributions. By treating donors as valued partners in their mission, charities can cultivate a sense of shared ownership and commitment that transcends the limitations of overhead aversion. When donors feel like they are an integral part of the solution, they are more likely to give generously, more likely to become long-term supporters, and more likely to advocate for the cause to others. Timing is everything. In storytelling, timing is everything. This holds true in charitable giving, where timing influences impact and emotional connection. Early donations shape a campaign's trajectory. They represent confidence in the mission. Late donations evoke excitement and accomplishment. The most successful charitable appeals don't just solicit donations. They tell stories that stay with donors long after they've made their contributions. These stories tap into universal human emotions, creating a lasting impression that transcends the transactional nature of giving. One powerful way to create a memorable story is to focus on the transformative impact of donations, highlighting the real-life individuals and communities that have benefited from the organization's work. This can be achieved through compelling testimonials, behind-the-scenes glimpses into programs, and stories of hope and resilience that demonstrate the power of collective action. Another effective strategy is to invite donors to become part of the story, to see themselves as active participants in creating positive change. This can be achieved by providing opportunities for donors to engage more deeply with the organization's work, whether through volunteering, attending events, or sharing their own stories of giving. Ultimately, the goal is to create a narrative that resonates with donors on a personal level, connecting them to the cause in a way that feels meaningful and lasting. When donors feel like they are part of something larger than themselves, when they see the tangible impact of their generosity, they are more likely to become lifelong supporters, advocating for the organization and inspiring others to join the movement for good. As we've journeyed through Story World and Commerce World, one truth emerges. Effective fundraising is not just dollars and cents, but a tapestry woven from human emotion and compelling narratives. Financial transparency is crucial for trust, but not the driving force of generosity. Empathy and compassion ignite action. Commerce World provides the framework, but Story World breathes life into it. It's the story of overcoming adversity, communities rebuilding, and children's dreams for a better world. These narratives compel us to give from the heart. In the realm of Commerce World, success is often measured in quantifiable metrics: profit margins, return on investment, year-over-year growth. But in the transformative landscape of Story World, impact extends far beyond balance sheets and financial statements. It's measured in lives changed, communities strengthened, and hope rekindled. It's about empowering individuals to break cycles of poverty, providing access to education and healthcare, and creating a more just and equitable world for all. Measuring success in Story World requires a shift in perspective, a willingness to look beyond immediate outcomes and embrace the ripple effects of generosity. It's about recognizing that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound and lasting impact, setting in motion a chain reaction of positive change that reverberates through communities and across generations. It's about understanding that true success in the nonprofit sector is not about maximizing profits, but about maximizing human potential. It's about investing in people, empowering them to become agents of their own destinies, and creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. The lessons learned from exploring the interplay between Story World and Commerce World extend far beyond the realm of charitable giving. They offer valuable insights into the very essence of what it means to be human, to connect with one another on a deeper level, and to create a more compassionate and just world. As we move forward, let us carry these lessons with us, not just in our philanthropic endeavors, but in all aspects of our lives. Let us embrace the power of storytelling, not as a tool for manipulation, but as a means of fostering empathy, building bridges of understanding, and inspiring action. Let us challenge the limitations of a purely transactional worldview, recognizing that true progress is driven not by self-interest, but by our shared humanity. Let us invest in solutions that address the root causes of social problems, empowering individuals and communities to create lasting change. The journey towards a more just and compassionate world begins with a single story, a spark of empathy, a willingness to listen and to act. Let us embrace the power of Story World to ignite the change we wish to see in the world. Welcome back to our exploration of fundraising. In this chapter, we're diving into the intriguing world of restricted gifts. Imagine two distinct realms: Story World, where emotions and narratives reign supreme, and Commerce World, governed by logic and numbers. Fundraising thrives at the intersection of these two worlds. We'll uncover the dynamics of restricted gifts, exploring the conflicts and compromises that arise when donor desires meet organizational needs. Get ready to unravel the complexities of balancing the heartfelt stories that inspire giving with the practicalities of managing funds effectively. This chapter is your guide to navigating this fascinating terrain, ultimately helping you become a more successful fundraiser. Fundraising is about connecting with people on an emotional level. It's about tapping into their values, aspirations, and desire to make a difference. Stories have the power to transport us to different worlds, evoke empathy, and inspire action. In fundraising, stories are the bridge that connects donors to the causes they care about. When donors connect with a story, they're more likely to feel invested in the outcome. Let's introduce the concept of restricted gifts. A gift restriction means a donor earmarks their contribution for a specific purpose. From the donor's perspective, restrictions are about control and significance. Charity managers often see restrictions as limiting their ability to address broader organizational needs. While charity managers might see restrictions as a hindrance, it's crucial to understand their significance in Story World. Restrictions enhance the narrative of giving. Imagine a donor passionate about education who restricts their gift to fund a new library. Their contribution transforms into a tangible act with clear emotional resonance. Restrictions allow donors to personalize their giving, aligning it with their passions and values. It's about feeling like an active participant in a compelling story, not just a passive observer.
Research suggests that the option to restrict a gift, even if not chosen, can significantly increase giving. This highlights the power of perceived control in shaping donor behavior. When donors feel empowered to direct their contributions, they're more likely to engage. By incorporating opportunities for choice and personalization, fundraisers can create a more engaging giving experience.
Restricted giving impacts donor perception. Donors often see restricted gifts as having a greater impact, especially when they perceive the recipient organization as less responsible. Restrictions can serve as risk mitigation for donors, providing reassurance that their funds will be used as intended. Fundraisers can leverage this by providing clear, transparent information about how restricted gifts will be used.
Gift restrictions represent a fascinating intersection of donor desires and organizational needs. For donors, restrictions are driven by a desire for transparency and accountability. They want to know their contributions are being used for their intended purpose. Organizations often need flexibility in allocating funds. Unrestricted gifts provide the greatest latitude, allowing them to address emerging priorities. The challenge lies in balancing donor intent with operational agility.
In Story World, gift restrictions are powerful narrative tools. They allow donors to become active participants in a compelling story. Imagine a donor passionate about providing clean water who restricts their gift to fund a specific well. Their contribution transforms into a tangible act with clear emotional resonance. Fundraisers can leverage this dynamic to create more engaging giving experiences. By weaving compelling narratives around restricted giving opportunities, they can inspire greater generosity. Bridging the gap between Story World and Commerce World requires compromise. Offer donors a range of giving options, including both restricted and unrestricted opportunities. Engage in open communication about the organization's needs and priorities. Explain how unrestricted funds support core operations and innovation. Foster a collaborative relationship built on mutual trust and understanding.
Story World and Commerce World often clash over restricted giving. Commerce World logic suggests that if donors don't choose the restriction, it shouldn't impact giving. However, experiments reveal that offering the option to restrict a donation can significantly increase overall giving. One field experiment showed that the option to restrict raised $40,000 more, even though most donors chose unrestricted funds. This highlights the psychological impact of choice in philanthropy.
Visualizing impact, how restrictions enhance giving. The option to restrict a gift, even if not chosen, leads to increased donations due to the power of visualization. Specific restrictions allow donors to create a vivid mental image of their impact. This visualization triggers a powerful emotional response, transforming giving into a deeply personal act. Even if donors choose unrestricted funds, considering a specific restriction connects them with the cause on a deeper level.
The overhead dilemma and the power of control. Donors often hesitate to contribute to organizations with high overhead. Restricted giving can mitigate concerns about overhead by offering control over how money is used. Donors feel reassured that their contribution is directly funding the cause they care about. Highlighting specific projects can resonate with donors' passions. Restricted giving options can empower organizations to overcome the overhead hurdle and inspire greater generosity.
A clash of perspectives, commerce versus story. Fundraising exists at the intersection of Commerce World and Story World. Commerce World emphasizes efficiency and maximizing impact, favoring unrestricted funds. Story World is driven by emotions and connections, with donors seeking to be active participants in a compelling story. Restrictions in Story World become tools for personalization and impact. This clash of perspectives lies at the heart of the restricted giving debate.
The donor's dilemma: control versus trust. Donors grapple with the desire to direct their contributions and the need to trust the organization's expertise. They want to ensure their generosity aligns with their values and makes a tangible difference. This desire for control is often amplified by personal experiences with a particular cause. Skilled fundraisers can help donors navigate this dilemma by fostering open communication and providing transparent information. Offering a range of giving options can cater to different levels of control and specificity.
Finding common ground. Balancing needs and narratives. Bridging the gap between Commerce World and Story World requires creative solutions. Embrace the concept of fungible restrictions, where a restricted gift to a budgeted item acts like an unrestricted gift. Engage donors in a dialogue about the importance of unrestricted giving. Transparently communicate the challenges of restricted funds and the value of flexible support. Building strong, trust-based relationships between donors and organizations is key to finding common ground.
Embracing flexibility, fungible restrictions, and revenue designation. Navigating the world of restricted gifts often requires a delicate dance between honoring donor intent and providing organizations with the financial agility they need. Fortunately, there are creative solutions that can bridge this gap, allowing both Story World and Commerce World to coexist harmoniously. One such solution is the concept of fungible restrictions. Imagine a donor passionate about supporting a specific program within an organization, such as an after-school tutoring initiative. They want to ensure their contribution directly benefits this program, so they make a restricted gift. Now, let's say this program is already fully funded through the organization's operating budget. In this case, the restricted gift, while earmarked for the tutoring program, essentially frees up an equivalent amount of unrestricted funds that were originally allocated for that purpose. The organization can now use these unrestricted funds to address other pressing needs, knowing that the donor's intent for the tutoring program is still being fulfilled. Another approach is to offer donors the option of restricting their gift to a specific revenue category, such as program support or capital improvements. This provides a level of specificity that resonates with donors while still allowing the organization flexibility within that designated area. For example, a donor might restrict their gift to capital improvements, ensuring their contribution goes towards upgrading facilities or purchasing new equipment. The organization in turn can allocate these funds to the most pressing capital needs at the time, whether it's renovating a building, investing in technology, or enhancing accessibility.
The power of suggestion, evoking impact without restrictions. Sometimes the most powerful way to engage donors is not through strict restrictions, but through evocative storytelling and opportunities for engagement that foster a sense of ownership and impact, even without formally earmarking their contributions. One effective strategy is to share compelling examples of how donor funds are being used, painting a vivid picture of the difference their generosity is making. For instance, an organization working to combat homelessness might share a story about a single mother who was able to secure stable housing and employment thanks to their support. This story, while not tied to a specific restricted gift, creates a powerful emotional connection and demonstrates the tangible impact of donor generosity. Another approach is to involve donors in the decision-making process, even in a symbolic way. This can be as simple as providing donors with a list of potential projects or initiatives and asking them to rank their priorities. While this doesn't restrict the organization's spending in a formal sense, it gives donors a voice and makes them feel like active participants in shaping the organization's priorities. This sense of engagement can be further enhanced by providing donors with regular updates on the progress of these projects, reinforcing the connection between their generosity and the positive outcomes being achieved. Remember, fundraising thrives on stories. By sharing compelling narratives and involving donors in meaningful ways, organizations can inspire generosity and create a lasting sense of impact, even without relying heavily on restricted giving. Creative compromises, blending control and flexibility. In the realm of restricted giving, finding the sweet spot often involves striking a balance between donor control and organizational flexibility. One approach that embodies this principle is the concept of combination restrictions. This involves allowing donors to restrict a portion of their gift to a specific purpose, while leaving the remainder unrestricted or designated for a broader area of need. For example, a donor might choose to restrict 2/3 of their gift to support a particular research project, while the remaining 1/3 goes to the organization's general fund, providing crucial support for core operations and emerging priorities. This approach allows donors to align their giving with their passions while also recognizing the importance of providing the organization with flexible resources to address a wider range of needs. Another creative solution is the use of per diem stories in fundraising appeals. This involves framing a request around the cost of supporting a particular program or activity for a specific unit of time, such as a day, a week, or a year. For instance, an animal shelter might launch a campaign asking donors to sponsor a kennel for a day, highlighting the daily cost of providing food, shelter, and care for an animal in need. This approach not only creates a tangible connection between the donation and its impact, but also introduces the concept of larger gifts in a more approachable and relatable way. Donors who might not be able to make a substantial one-time donation might be more inclined to contribute a smaller amount on a recurring basis, knowing that their generosity is making a tangible difference every day. The power of story in a numbers game. As we've journeyed through the intricate world of restricted gifts, one key takeaway stands out. Fundraising is not just about dollars and cents. It's about weaving compelling narratives that resonate with donors' hearts and minds. While Commerce World logic might prioritize unrestricted funds for their flexibility, Story World reminds us that donors are driven by emotions, connections, and the desire to make a tangible difference. The most successful fundraisers are those who can bridge these two worlds, balancing the need for organizational sustainability with the donor's desire to feel like an active participant in a story of positive change. By embracing creative solutions like fungible restrictions, revenue designation, and compelling storytelling, organizations can honor donor intent while maintaining the financial agility to address their evolving needs. Remember, every gift, whether restricted or unrestricted, represents an act of trust and generosity. It's a testament to the power of human connection and the shared belief in a better future. As fundraisers, it's our privilege and responsibility to nurture these connections, to craft narratives that inspire hope and action, and to ensure that every contribution, no matter how big or small, contributes to a world where everyone thrives. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of restricted gifts. May your fundraising endeavors be fueled by both the wisdom of Commerce World and the heart of Story World.